Welcome to the Cool Instruments for Hep Cats podcast and the world of creating musical sounds, where every note has a story. In this podcast, we delve into the fascinating realm of unusual and intriguing musical instruments. From the depths of history to the cutting edge of innovation, we'll explore the instruments that have, or will, push the boundaries of what we consider music. Join us on a journey of discovery as we uncover the secrets of the world's most fascinating instruments, the people who play them, and the music they create. Now here is your host, Dr. Donald Rickert.
Hi, I'm Don Rickert, and I'm here today with Andrew Gonzalez, the great Andrew Gonzalez, and he can tell you all about himself. So, Andrew, without further ado, just tell our listeners about you.
Again, I'm Andrew Gonzalez. I am a violist. I am Violoncello da Spalla player. I am currently in a string quartet called the Jasper String Quartet. And when I'm not doing that, I'm doing a lot of chamber music and soloing and a lot of early music stuff. I play Baroque viola. I'm kind of in the scene, so I live kind of a double life between this modern world and this early music world. And the thing that brought me into brought me into the Baroque world is the instrument we're going to be talking about a lot today, which is the Violoncello da Spalla.
Good. I encourage anybody watching this to just Google or do a search on YouTube for Andrew. You'll find lots. He's a pretty prolific producer of really good videos, high quality videos, or is in concerts that engaged high videographers. So you can see some really good stuff. And all right, good. Well, can you describe what the Violoncello da Spalla is? What does the name even mean?
So, Violoncello da Spalla is basically a 5-string cello that you play on your shoulder, and in Italian, it translates to cello for the shoulder. And it's really great for somebody like me or any violinist or violist interested in playing anything lower than the octave that usually the violin and viola has. And it allows you to do a lot of basso continuo stuff, and which is not the original reason why I went into it, but it's becoming sort of a thing I'm doing a lot, which is really cool. I mean, so yeah, I guess I get to start with that. The original reason I went into it was because I really wanted to play the Bach cello suite, particularly the 6th cello suite, because I knew it had it needed a 5th string, an E string, to play it, which the highest string is the E string. And I just what were we gonna say?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's just opened up this incredible other profession for me that just really helps my modern playing and early music playing and everything.
So, do you actually use the Violoncello da Spalla for modern music as well as Baroque music? Or are you primarily playing Baroque?
Primarily Baroque. I venture a little bit into the classical stuff. Like I did a thing, Boccherini cello quintet recently, where I played the first cello part. Yeah, which is pretty fun. And I haven't done a whole lot of. If anything, I go farther back in time, like older, diminution, like late Renaissance stuff. And Murray and Murray kind of gamba stuff. Yeah.
So you don't worry about. You're not just a historically, and I think the term is historically informed performer. You use the instrument the way you want to, however it tends to.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think my goal is always to kind of get into the minds of the composer. And part of doing that is kind of doing the research and figuring out what tools they would have used, what strings they might have used, what pitches they might have used. And part of my exploration of particularly the Bach cello suites was playing them on an instrument that was a lot closer to what Bach had in mind than the viola for those pieces particularly. But even I've noticed some of the earlier Italian like chamber music, Italian Baroque music, where the sound isn't so massive, or needed to be massive. Like a lot of like the violin sonatas sound really beautiful with the Spalla, where you only need like harpsichord, maybe two violins or one violin, and Spalla, and the balance is super cool and really awesome.
So I guess you pretty much described. I actually had a question, like, well, your journey that led you to the cello da Spalla. I think you probably answered that. Is there anything more you wanted to say about that?
Yeah, well, I guess I didn't talk totally of how. Well, so in, I think like when I was in college, so maybe like, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago, like I was like, on YouTube. They didn't have Instagram and everything back then, so like I did a lot of like looking up on YouTube, and I found these two guys, Sigiswald Koikin and Sergei Malov, and I was like, what is this instrument? Like, and I was just like so amazed. And at that point, there were only like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 people playing. I only know of like 3 or 4 people that were playing it. And so when I heard Sergei play the 6th cello suite, the Jig, I was just like, I have to get my hands on one of these. But I was in school for doing modern viola, so I kind of put a bookmark on that, and and then years later, my girlfriend's a Baroque violinist, who's now my fiance, and we're getting married in August.
Congratulations!
Yeah, she kind of nudged me into getting back into like early music and thinking about it, and so I did some festivals like ABS and this other festival called Valley of the Moon in Sonoma, California, which we do like chamber music, cool. Like classical and romantic on gut strings at like 430 pitch. It's really cool. And then that's just sort of got me more interested in like, well, I had this dream of playing this instrument. Like maybe there's some way I can find a way to get an instrument, and it's, but also at a price that was that was reasonable. And so I started looking around in the States, and then I found this person I'm talking to right now to make me this instrument, and I've loved it. It's really grown with me, and yeah, it was a really cool project that you took on, and I'm really grateful for it because it's opened up this whole career for me.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Just in the what's 4 years ago, 5? I guess it was 5 years ago.
2018 is when we met in.
Yeah,
we met in like November of 2017, and I was like, "Hey, I've got this crazy idea," and you were like, "I've kind of already made a couple already," and yeah,
it's just amazing how many people have taken it up since then. And Andrew, how does the Violoncello da Spalla differ from a traditional 4-string, full-size cello in terms of sound as well as the way you play the instruments?
So one of the key differences is the size. Actually, this instrument is very, very small, or very, very large, depending on the way you look at it. It's actually just slightly longer than the viola, but it's very, very fat, as you can see, to kind of emulate the deepness of the cello sound. Another key difference is that you play it kind of like the viola, but you put it on this side of your shoulder. Hence the name shoulder cello, Violoncello da Spalla. And Another key difference is the sound. It's the same range as the cello, but it has the timbre of the viola, which is really wonderful, and kind of the best of both worlds, coming from a violist who wants to play pieces like the Bach cello suites, like I'm about to play for you, in the register that they're written in. And I thought the best example to show you would just be to play the gavottes from the cello suites by Bach, the Sixth Cello Suite, which was written for a 5-string cello. And notice how I don't actually have to shift the entire time, which is super convenient. It makes the sound a lot more idiomatic and flows so much more beautifully than a 4-string cello. So anyway, that's a little bit of something, what it sounds like. I obviously like playing all of the cello suites, but I think there's something special about the Sixth Cello Suite in the fact that it was written for a 5-string instrument. And there's other suites too that I do scordatura with the Fifth Cello Suite. I actually changed the key in the Fourth Cello Suite because I like utilizing the open strings, for example. Anyway, yeah. I mean, it's maybe not kosher, but also, you know, this instrument's kind of in a world of, you know, where you can create a lot of different things, and I'm very appreciative for you for making this beautiful instrument for me.
So I'm going to say goodbye now, and sorry to rush.
No worries.
I don't want to get in trouble with the library people.
Sure. All right. Great to talk to you. Take care.
Likewise, Andrew. Bye-bye now.
Cool Instruments for Hep Cats is brought to you by Don Rickert Musical Instruments, designers and makers of bespoke stringed instruments. All music clips were either recorded in the making of the podcast and played by the guest or guests, who have granted permission to use the clips, or otherwise, used with permission or in accordance with fair use regulations. The music for the intro and outro sequences is performed by the group Attire on jaw harp and djembe and is used with written permission.